Boys, welcome back. I don't know why. I literally had to get out of this desk to come back just to make this scene that you just saw. But welcome back to another video. Right now it's 12:43 p.m. I'm not even supposed to be recording. I'm supposed to be prepping for the gym. Sorry, I'm speaking so fast. But I had a thought in my mind while eating my first meal today at 11. So I don't know why I'm telling you the timings like you care. But like an hour ago, I had a thought in my mind which was, how do we justify instant gratification? I'll explain the entire context. Yesterday, I was speaking with one of my good friends. So, yesterday, we were speaking about being a little bit extreme in our self development journey. What I mean by extreme is if you want extreme results, you're gonna have to be a little bit more extreme. You're gonna have to do things that are not normal to society, right? It is how it is, right? If you want to be number one, you have to be odd. We know this. We know these things of like, if you want to live an exceptional life, you have to be exceptional. You have to do things that most people are not doing. Now, you can literally ask yourself. You can go look at society. Or is the average person that you see in your nearest city or in the world really, like, but specifically in your city, in your country, is the average person someone that it's aspirational? The average person, I'm not saying some guy, one of your family members who has like a really nice paying tech job and gets paid $100,000 a year. I'm saying the average person in your city, in your country, is that someone who you aspire to be? 98% of the time, no. Why? Because there's nothing aspirational to emulate in their lives. There's probably some things that, wow, that's interesting. Maybe that they do, like some hobbies. But if you look at them on a total scale, without being rude, because everyone has their own lives and their journeys, but would you really aspire to be someone who's mediocre? No, because it's not in the definition of aspiring. Aspiration, aspiring means to elevate oneself, right? So I don't know, bro. But we're just speaking about how we need to be a little bit more extreme in our self development journey, specifically when it comes to fast food. And because my friend has sort of like a he craves fast food. For me, sometimes it's going back to video games, specifically FIFA, which happens like a couple times a month. Probably I end up like falling off my routine and going off, you know that. And by the way, like I was watching a bunch of Hamza videos, like his old videos before recording this, so I might have like some of his thoughts in my head. If I end up sounding like Hamza, I'm not trying to emulate him. What the frick? Like, I'm myself, right? But I'm just saying because I was just watching him. So if there's any, like, what I'm trying to say. Either way, I was gonna talk about, though, this thing of like moderation, right? I was telling my friend yesterday that average people today, without being arrogant, but the average people today that are not trying to sort of self develop their lives like we are, the average person today thinks of this thing called everything in moderation. That's their motto. That's what they live by. Oh, everything in balance, everything in moderation. Oh yeah, that's fine if you eat a little bit of junk food, when you come home from work. That's nothing harmful about that. Everything in moderation. Everything, just, yeah, you know what it is, balance, right? That's what they call it, balance. And again, that goes against the very definition of being exceptional, because in order to be different, you need to be, by definition, more extreme in some aspects of your life, by definition. If the average today is that I'm gonna come home and I'm gonna have a minimal of, I'm gonna eat something processed in my day. I go to university, and without being ranting here, without trying to judge people, which I am actually judging people, but I go to university and I see people ordering cookies at 8 a.m. in the morning, and it sometimes blows my mind because I probably used to do the same thing. But it sometimes blows my mind that there's people ordering cookies, creamy chocolate chill. Like, if you're Canadian, you go to Tim Hortons. Tim Hortons is our Canadian brand for like a coffee brand. They have everything. It's like a bakery, and creamy chocolate chill, which is like a sugary drink. Right? It's in the name, creamy chocolate chill. Like, imagine ordering that in the morning. Right? It's already like they put like freaking foam, like, what do you call it? Whipping cream, whatever it's called, on top of it. It's freaking crazy, right? But people order like a lot of stuff in the morning that sometimes blows my mind. Is how do you even function? People scroll at 7 a.m. on a train. I see them sitting beside me or sitting in the aisle next to me, and they're literally scrolling on TikTok, and I'm like, it's freaking 7 a.m. Like, you've destroyed your brain upon the first hour of waking up. So again, I'm grateful. Like, I don't mean to be arrogant, because I'm grateful that I was able to learn this stuff at such a young age. I'm grateful that I was able to live this lifestyle. God gave me so many blessings for me to even live this lifestyle at such a young age. This lifestyle of discipline, improvement. And my friend was even telling me, like, bro, you're not anything like the average 21-year-old. And even though like I'm not trying to big up myself, but I will say yes, we're not, by definition, I am not living an average life. If I wake up and I'm focusing on a routine, I'm doing deep work, I'm making YouTube videos, I'm like, you know what I'm trying to say? I don't scroll on TikTok. I don't have a TikTok. I never scrolled on TikTok in like 3 years, like actual scrolling in like 3 years. So without trying to be judged, like without trying to be boasting myself, I'm so great. Like I also admit, like boys, I still go to FIFA sometimes. I don't know. Yeah, for me, like I sometimes still play FIFA. I sometimes still waste time. Obviously, that's it is what it is. It's the life that we're living. But my friend was specifically stating the fact that people that know what they're doing is bad often live worse lives than people who don't know that what they're doing is bad for a temporary period of time. That's my addition to it, which is, let's just say right now you're trying to get onto self improvement, and you realize that you're sort of eating a lot of junk food, and you don't want to eat a lot of junk food because you know it's bad for you, and you every single time you order it, you're sort of like knowing what you're doing is like a dirty thing. Like, oh, you're gonna try to convince yourself to order this junk food. Oh yeah, I can't wait to eat this ice cream, right? Or it's much worse food than ice cream, but you know what I'm trying to say. So I can't wait to eat this. Oh my god, it's gonna be so great, right? And then after you eat it, you're there, be like, oh, I freaking cheated on my diet. Oh my god, I did this, I did that. This is so bad for me. I, I know this is bad for me, but I'm still doing it. Oh my god, I'm so addicted to this habit. Oh my god, I can never quit. You know what I'm trying to say? Compared to the version of us, specifically, I can say me, who used to eat tubs of ice cream. I used to eat tubs of ice cream, like tubs that's not in one sitting. Well, I would eat one tub in one sitting, if that makes sense. Like, forget getting the plate, like, or like a bowl and putting the ice cream in the bowl. I would just take the tub and eat as much as I physically can until I couldn't stop. Until it's like, it literally like, okay, let me put it back, and there would be like a little freaking chunk left for the rest of my family. Yeah, bro. I used to binge eat that stuff. I used to binge eat horrible foods, like mixing Nutella with freaking Oreos or cookies, like make cookie sandwich with Nutella in the middle. I don't know what the frick I would do, but that was really bad, right? But either way, like going back then I thought nothing of it. Back then I didn't think about how it was affecting my attention span, how it's overstimulating my brain, how it's destroying my dopamine receptors, how it's actually the reason why I'm so lazy, and how my glucose levels are rising, and how I'm having a crash because of high amounts of sugar. Whatever it is, I didn't think of any of that. It was normal for me, right? And you probably had those times where we used to play hours and hours and hours of video games and it felt normal, like nothing was wrong. I used to play hours of Fortnite. That was my game. I was trying to go professional actually. Like I was literally playing like 10 hours of that game. Right after school, on weekends, my friend would wake me up like at 11 p.m. and I would without brushing my teeth, get straight into playing games. So, again, going back to the topic, we thought this was normal with nothing wrong with it. But here is the caveat. Remember earlier I said that for a temporary period of time, because life will eventually catch up to you, right? Life will eventually catch up to those people who are enjoying their life, quote unquote, enjoying their life. I think every human being has a point of ignorance, has an era of ignorance. But the issue with it is that it's not permanent. It's not permanent. There's something called a compounding effect, whether good or bad. And compounding effect pretty much tells us that things that you do on a repeated basis will compound. It's not like one day you're playing video games and then the next day you play video games. It's not like that one day, like let's just say you played video games and you slept. It's not like the effects of video games just left your body. That's how people gain weight, right? Because imagine if you ate junk food and then you ate the next day, but then the food that you ate today, oh, nothing, it didn't affect your body at all. So like it's almost like reset. Your body doesn't reset. Your brain doesn't reset after doing something so heavy, like playing video games or eating junk food. So the issue with this is that there's people out there that are like partying, right? Like I know people at my university that like first year when I wasn't on self improvement, the first semester of university, when I like 3 years ago, my friends would be telling me like, yo bro, let's party, let's go to the parties and whatever, like let's get girls and coming from my religion, I'm a Muslim, and my family background and stuff like that, like I never even that stuff didn't really cross my mind. Like the environment I grew up in, like I'm not saying I was the most religious guy, like I definitely wanted girls and I've had my fair share of bad things I'm not gonna explain in this video right now. But yeah, like That was the mentality of most university students. Let's go enjoy, let's party, let's do this, let's eat junk food, let's eat outside all the time, whatever. Let's get takeout. But the issue is life catches up. The reason why I think 20, 30, 40 year olds today are so freaking unhappy, that know, like, that kind of regret, even though they don't want to admit it. Like, I know there's 30-year-olds right now, 25-year-olds that are working, and they're like, I wish I locked in more in university. I wish I made more connections. I wish I used my university time that when I was there to actually make connections, and to, cause then you start comparing with those people who actually made it. There's people at our university, there's people in your life that actually locked in at a young age, and wow, they made good progress. Now they're your age, they're my age, and actually doing good things in life. And you kind of tell yourself, "Oh man, I wish I locked in." I can see the same thing for me when I wanted to go professional in soccer slash football. Like, now I look back, I'm not, honestly, I'll be honest with you, I don't really have much regret for not becoming a soccer player, because I think God made me go down this path of making YouTube videos and becoming a YouTuber with God's permission, inshallah. However, what I will say is that, of course, like, if I did lock in back then, and if I ate good food, and I went to my practices and I kept practicing my soccer skills, I really, maybe, probably, because I was good, without trying to glaze myself, I probably could have at least been in a team by now, or in a high league by now, or maybe even professional, maybe signed my first professional contract. So obviously, a part of my brain is like, oh yeah, you could have really locked in for becoming a professional soccer player, and you could have done the same thing. Like, you could have said the same thing about yourself. Maybe if I really grinded, I could have gotten a better job. I could have landed up in a better position. I could have made some connections and whatever, and I could have started my own business. But now you're 30 years old and you think it's too late for you, right? So this is the issue. Like, things compound over time. Things add up over time. You don't just reset after a day of bad habits. This is the thing I needed to tell you, which is, why do we justify these things then? Why do we say, oh yeah, 1 hour of video games, even though, like, I used to have this belief, like, oh, if I just play 2 hours of video games every night, it's not gonna be really that bad, right? It's not gonna be that bad. If I just eat a bunch of junk food every night, it's not going to be that bad. And think about it. It sounds really normal. It sounds like, yeah, it's not going to be that bad. And I used to be the same. Like, I used to say the same thing, which is, if I just order, like, some takeout right now, like, it's not that bad. It's not horrible, because it's like I ate clean the rest of the day, right? But here's the issue though. This is what, like, this is my original thought I had this morning, which was, why are we trying to normalize something which is not normal by its essence? Why are we trying to normalize something that is not normal in its original form? Junk food, video games, anime. And I'm saying this from someone who I'm actually watching an anime right now. And I would admit, like, this is what I mean. I'm not perfect. I'm not saying I'm perfect, but that's why I said we, right? I'm actually watching an anime right now. And yes, I can make the, I can make the, what do you call it? The excuse of, like, well, I'm still on self improvement and everything. But I will still say, like, watching the anime is not the best of things that I'm doing 100%. So why are we trying to make something that is literally made to be an addiction? Why are we trying to normalize that? That is what I don't understand. Fast food, in its name, it's meant to be addicting because we want things that are fast, quick, and easy. Human beings have this thing in our brain where we don't want to exert effort. We want to, it's a survival bias. It's like we want to make sure we don't exert much effort. Like, humans will always take the easier approach. That's how our brains work. So if we're here trying to normalize fast food when it's meant to be addictive. We're here trying to say, but if you play 1 hour FIFA every night, nothing's gonna bad happen. But the issue is, FIFA, the way it's created, it is meant for you to be addicted to it. And sure, are there people that, like, that play 1 hour FIFA and they're still successful, whatever? Yeah, sure. But not everyone is the same. Some people maybe were raised in a way where hard work was more normal for them. They worked harder from a younger age, so that when they grew up, they were still able to work hard. Unlike me, who never took responsibility for his life until the age of 18. Now I'm 21. Growing up, all I did was play video games. So for me, balancing something that I was extremely addicted to, because it's meant to be addicting. It's created to be addicting. Is it possible? Sure, but again, compounding effect. We're trying to normalize something that is made to be addicting, to be bad for you, to spike abnormal amounts of dopamine in your head. Now, let's just say like, what if like you go out with your friends and you guys eat junk food? Like honestly, if you want my take on it, go ahead. But to be a part of your identity, when you just say like, yeah, bro, fast food is nothing wrong with it. Like, there's nothing wrong with having the apps on my phone. There's nothing wrong with that's the flawed thinking, or video games or whatever it could. I'm gonna make a full video on how I was able to sort of, because my friend was asking yesterday like, yo, how did you stop eating junk food? Because he has that issue, right? I'm gonna make a full video on it because I think it's very needed. But this is sort of like what I wanted to talk about. Let me open my notes app so I actually didn't miss anything. Yeah. How can we say that like moderation is fine when these things are not meant for you to be? It's not. It's not balanced. These things are not balance worthy. You can say balance of like, for example, spending time with friends or reading a fiction book that you really like or going out to the beach or playing soccer at like with your friends. Like sure, that you can say balance. That's real work life balance. Because you're balancing with things that are like healthy and they're not actually destroying your brain inside out. But right now the issue is we're trying to balance with things that are meant to be like, it's like playing with fire. It's like playing with fire. Would you ever balance drugs? Unless you smoke drugs and you're watching this video, that's different. But what do you really balance? For those that don't smoke or don't take drugs, what do you balance drugs? No. And also, I don't think people that do drugs will watch my videos because, like for example, I never did drugs in my life. I'm so alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah, as Khabib says, bro. I've never done drugs in my life, so I won't be able to relate to those that did do drugs. But I can relate with like almost anything else but drugs. You know what I'm trying to say? So I'm grateful, but this is what I'm trying to say. Like, what do you balance drugs though? If I told you, yeah, smoke like or do cocaine every night, oh, but that's balance. But it's not because cocaine is meant to be extremely stimulating for your brain, and you're gonna be like, well, how does junk food equate to cocaine? It doesn't, but they're both still very stimulating things, more stimulating than what are like what life is. Junk food is a lot more stimulating, which is why people are addicted to it. So this is just kind of what I want to get get across. I don't know. I just had this thought in my brain, and I think I needed to just say this. I think it's very important, you know, for me to talk about this. I guess the idea is to stop coping. Let's stop. Let's stop coping. Let's stop pretending like this stuff that we're trying to balance is good for us. It's not productive. If it seems like you're fine right now, it's because you haven't taken into account compounding effect. Compounding effect is very true. So the actionable step is look at your life and try to see like, okay, the things that I'm thinking it's okay or it's not a big deal. Stop giving it power. Stop thinking that this thing has some level of power over you. If it's junk food, like you might be asking like, well, how do I quit junk food? And like, oh my god, because like I'm doing it a lot and I get that urge. Well, the idea is you think that there's gonna be something that's gonna make you quit junk food. I think sometimes you need to sort of break down the habit. I'll make a full video on it in the future, but because this is one of the most successful things that I've accomplished with the permission of God, which is not eating junk food. This was for me, like, you know how some people have like a habit that they get rid of easy. For me, it was junk food. So I'll definitely make a video on it. But other than that, boys, I love you. Thank you so much for watching this. If you're new, follow my Instagram. First link in the description down below, and let me know if you know this video. If you watch this. So yeah, love you boys, and I'll see you next time. Assalamu alaikum.